For the last 2 decades, Agile has been the absolute king of the hill in software development. It changed everything. But what if? What if the very thing that gave us all that speed is now actually the thing that's holding us back? Today, we're going to talk about that next great leap, moving our engineering teams from the age of Agile to the age of AI. So, does this sound familiar at all? Your sprints are humming along, the stand-ups are happening, but it just feels like you've hit a plateau, a wall, like you're not getting the same bang for your buck from your Agile process anymore. Well, if that's you, you're definitely not alone. The truth is, the kinds of challenges we're facing now are fundamentally different from the ones Agile was originally designed to solve. All right, so here's the game plan. We're going to unpack the strategic playbook for making this big transition. We'll kick things off by finding Agile's hidden bottleneck, and then we'll dive into the new AI paradigm. After that, we get really practical. How do you build a smarter organization? What does your AI platform need to look like? How do you handle the risks? And to wrap it all up, we'll lay out your AI maturity roadmap. Okay, so let's dive right in. What's the real problem here? For years, frameworks like Scrum and Kanban were brilliant at solving one specific thing: friction in how we collaborate. They broke down silos, they created these super tight feedback loops. It was great. But while we were all busy optimizing our processes, something way bigger and kind of sneakier was bubbling up right under the surface. We're calling it the human trap. And here's what it is. It's that tipping point where the sheer complexity of our systems, I'm talking microservices, endless APIs, incredibly tangled business logic, it all just overwhelms our human ability to hold it in our heads. Once you hit that point, just tweaking your process is like rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. The process itself just can't keep up with the complexity. And I bet you're seeing the symptoms of this trap all over your own organization. Your developers are drowning in what we call cognitive load. They're bogged down with low-value, repetitive work. And even with all our automation, things like regression testing create a hard physical limit, a ceiling, on just how fast we can possibly go. And listen, this isn't just a gut feeling. We've got the hard data to back it up. Recent studies show that developers are now spending a staggering 70% of their time just trying to understand the code that's already there. That leaves only 30% for actually creating new value. Just let that sink in for a second. This isn't a process failure, it's a crisis of human cognitive capacity. Okay, so if just tweaking the process isn't going to cut it anymore, where do we go from here? Well, the answer isn't a patch. It's a complete paradigm shift. We have to stop trying to fine-tune the old system and instead think about dropping in a completely new engine. So here's the core difference, because it's huge. The old, process-driven world, the Agile world, was focused on collaboration friction. Its engine was human effort, which is great, but it really only leads to linear step-by-step improvements. This new, intelligence-driven paradigm, it's focused on a totally different problem, that cognitive load we just talked about. Its engine isn't human effort, it's machine capacity. And that unlocks the potential for exponential growth. Right, that all sounds great in theory, but how do you actually build this new engine into your company? Because this leap isn't just about buying a new tool, it's about fundamentally evolving your teams to develop something we call dual intelligence. And it really rests on two main pillars. On one hand, you have decision agility. That's all about using AI to make way smarter choices about what you should build in the first place. And on the other hand, you've got production intelligence, which is all about using AI to supercharge how you actually build, test, and ship that thing. Let's dig into each of those. Okay, let's talk about decision agility. Think about it. How much of your team's valuable time is just gone, wasted on what we call zombie features? You know the ones. They seemed like a great idea, but in reality, they get almost zero user engagement. Well, AI can be your ghostbuster here. It can analyze real user data to flag these zombies before they suck up all your team's energy. Now for the other side of the coin, production intelligence. This solves one of the oldest, most painful problems in software: knowledge retention. That feeling when a senior dev leaves and it's like they take a whole chunk of the company's brain with them? Well, AI can build a living, breathing knowledge base automatically, creating a true organizational memory that never walks out the door. Now, obviously, to make all this magic happen, you need the right tech foundation. You can't just plug a chatbot into your workflow and expect miracles. You have to be intentional and build a strategic AI engineering platform. So what are the building blocks? Well, it all starts with a private, unified service layer for your large models. And here's the key part. That model has to be injected with the context of your company's specific code and APIs. Then, on top of that, you build things like intelligent plugins for your developers' IDEs and AI gatekeepers in your CI/CD pipeline. Think of those as automated security guards that can spot flaws or performance issues way before they get to production. And this next point is absolutely critical. I cannot stress this enough. For any of this to be a real strategic advantage, you just can't be sending your secret sauce, your proprietary code, out to some public API. Security and context are everything. The AI has to be private, and it has to deeply understand your world, your stack, your patterns, your business. All right, look, any big change like this comes with risks, and we have to talk about them. We got to face them head on. This isn't about being afraid of AI, it's about being smart and building the right guardrails from the very beginning. I see three major risks you really need to get ahead of. First up is compliance, making sure AI-generated code isn't violating any open source licenses or copyrights. Second is technical debt. You have to prevent the AI from just churning out mountains of low-quality code that you'll pay for later. And third, talent disruption. The old ways we measure developer performance, like lines of code, they're becoming totally meaningless. We have to redefine what high performance even looks like. And that leads me to maybe the single most important rule in this whole new world. The AI is a tool, an incredibly powerful one, but the accountability stays human. The rule is simple. Whoever adopts it is responsible for it. That developer who accepts and commits the AI-generated code, they own its quality and compliance. That has to be a non-negotiable part of your strategy. Okay, we have talked strategy, we've talked risks. Now for the big question. How do you actually do this? How do you get from here to there? Well, this isn't something you do overnight. It's a phased journey, a clear step-by-step roadmap for maturing your organization's AI capabilities. We like to think of it as a journey in 3 stages. You start at what we call the assistive level, you then move up to augmented, and the ultimate goal is the autonomous stage. And each level builds on the one before it, delivering more and more value along the way. So let's really dig into what that means. Level 1, assistive, is where most people are today. It's things like basic code completion. You get some small productivity wins, but it's nothing earth-shattering. The real jump, the game changer, happens at level 2, augmented. This is where AI starts writing your unit tests, generating your documentation, and we see teams boosting their iteration speed by over 30%. The final destination is level 3, autonomous, where AI can actually perform automatic bug fixes and smart deployments, enabling true hands-off continuous delivery. And that really gets to the heart of it, you know? The ultimate goal here isn't just about shipping features faster. It's about building an entire system, your people, your processes, and your AI, that learns, adapts, and gets smarter all on its own. It's a continuously evolving organization. So there you have it. We've laid out the problem, the paradigm shift, and the path to get there. This transformation from being process-driven to being intelligence-driven, it isn't science fiction. It's happening right now. The only real question left is, are you ready to make the leap?